You guys need the attention, not me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have members of the Class B state champion Lincoln Pius X Thunderbolts, 27-2. With us today, Coach Brand Spicka, number 32 Austin Jablonski, number 33 Kolbe Rada, and number 34 Charlie Easley. Coach Spicka, if you would start by giving some general comments about the game.
Well, what a game. Apparently we like overtime in state tournament. Last year triple overtime last night, double overtime today. These guys are about drama, I guess. We've talked about how this is a season that has been really great for us as a team and as a school and as individuals, that we're kind of writing our own book, and this was one heck of a chapter to be able to write here in this game. The heart, the desire, the competitiveness that all these guys have is great to be able to gut out a win like that. Great credit to Roncalli, great players, great coaches, great school. They were a game every step of the way, and it very well could have been them sitting here. But we made a few extra plays, got a few rebounds, got a few stops, and for us then to be here in this spot is a pretty special thing.
Riley?
Charlie, it seemed like they were really doing a good job of not getting switched off on you, which made your shot selection a little tougher maybe than sometimes. Mm-hmm. What did you do to make that work, especially then in the second overtime?
Well, shots aren't always going to fall. Sometimes I'll shoot a little bit better and sometimes I won't, but I'm not going to let that get to me, because you got to impact other areas of the game when shots aren't falling. And I try to get my teammates involved. I try to make the extra plays, the hustle plays, and at the end of the day, that's what wins championships.
How'd that go-ahead three feel coming out of your hand?
Felt good. Felt good. Short-term memory.
Yeah, Austin, Coach said you guys kind of like the drama. Do you like the drama?
I mean, I just like to win a state championship, so whatever it took.
Obviously, you got a long football career ahead of you, but how did it feel in your last basketball game to go out like that with the title, that dunk at the end with the students?
Yeah, I mean, whatever sport I'm playing at the moment, that's my favorite sport. I invested my heart and soul into this team, and it means the world to us all to win this for the Pius community.
Mike?
Coach, the slam at the end, did you get lost in the green line?
Well, there seemed to be time on the clock, and they were kind of around him there, so he went for it, and that was fine. Still playing the game, I guess, and I'm glad we were able to go ahead and win the game as a result.
What changed in the second overtime? Because you went almost 6 minutes at the end of the fourth quarter without scoring, and didn't get a whole lot, points, 7 points in the first overtime, and it was a struggle. What changed?
I think we were a little stagnant at times on offense in the fourth quarter. Ball movement maybe wasn't quite as what it needed to be. It has been for us throughout the year. Defensively, we started to get a little bit tighter on things, and that really helped, especially in the second overtime. I think we might have shut them out in the second overtime, didn't we? We got a little bit of a lead, and then they have to rush a few shots and those kinds of things, so that helped our cause, obviously. But the way we were able to limit them just to one shot in the second overtime was big. They got, they had the rebound and the N1 at the, was that regulation or first overtime? It's all blur right now. So they kept fighting, and we were able to get a couple of stops and a couple of steals and get out in transition, which is a part of our game.
Yes.
Charlie, kind of walk me through two chances to win it end of regulation in the first overtime. What were you seeing when you had the ball at the top of the key there?
Well, I was just trying to make a play, and the first overtime, it's a blur too. I don't know if that was regulation, the one that went in and out. I thought that was in. I thought that was a good shot, but didn't want it to win like that. And second one, it was kind of a little later in the play, and I just didn't get a good head of steam going. And I just had to kind of try and make it happen, but it didn't go in. But we were resilient, we came back, and we got it done.
For interview, what still fresh? What is the moment that's going to stick out most tonight? Is it the dunk at the end, celebration? Just what was the moment that gave you the most chills today?
Cool.
Honestly, when Dominic Pellon hit that big three, I mean, that was a big momentum changer. We got the crowd into that. That was a great moment right there.
I called it. I said he was going to hit a big three before.
After Charlie hit the three to open the second overtime, a 3-point lead doesn't mean anything against Roncalli with the way they can crank it up. Going to the line, what was on your mind there? Because those 2 points, were going to maybe mean a lot.
Yeah, it was. I just had to just tell myself I was just back at home, just shooting at home. No, just block out the crowd. Just me at the line. Just hit these 2 shots and keep playing. Just have to relax myself.
Whenever you were able to get the 5th foul on Dosler, how big was that? Did that kind of open things up in the second overtime as well?
Yeah, I think that was on my drive. Yeah, that was a big moment because having him out, that really shortens their offense. Then we really focus on number 2 and just shut him out, and that was a really big moment.
Dosler's a great playmaker,
Yeah.
Spectacular playmaker.
Brian, in what ways has this group, specifically the senior class, but how have they pushed you to be a better coach with their desire to succeed at this level?
Well, it's made me examine more of the things that we needed to do to be successful, because my goal was to try to put them in the best situation that I could so they could use their talents. And I never wanted to be the reason why we weren't able to hopefully get to this point. I'm definitely not the reason why we got to this point. They very much are, but I just wanted to be able to put them in a position where they could use their talents and their skills to be able to do something like this. And we had a great season. If we didn't get to this point, it would have been a great season anyway, all the things that these guys have been able to do. And just the kind of young men that they are, it actually pushes me to be a better person to be around them for the most part. They are just great guys that are generous with each other, generous with other students around, humble guys that are a great representation of our school that are going to be doing great things in life. And that's what this whole situation and circumstances in high school sports are about.
For any of you guys, how about that student section?
Oh, I mean, we're crowd feeders. I mean, we appreciate everything they come out and do. I mean, they make it fun. I mean, as you can see, I mean, we hype them up and we feed off them. So they're a big part.
Yeah, they give us so much energy, and just always knowing that they got our backs, through thick and thin, no matter what happens, it's just that bond that we have as a school and as a whole community.
Charlie, you've been chasing this all season long. You guys knew this a possibility is to finish your season with the state championship. Now that you have that trophy sitting in front of you, what's the moment feel like for you?
It's unreal. I mean, I just flash back to all the early practices and everything we've done to prepare and get ready for this. And this was always the main goal in sight. And to finally get it, it's just a gratifying moment.
Is one of the things that maybe made this team so adaptable was their interchangeability. I mean, there's Austin going out, chasing a guard on the perimeter, and Kolbe going down and posting up. It seemed like you had people who were able to play anywhere.
Well, yeah, we have 5 athletes on the floor that are, like you said, very interchangeable. And that against Roncalli is very important because of their ability, their skill, the way they space you out, the different kinds of things that they run out there. It was very important for us to be able to switch a lot of those things so we could try to keep them in front of us. Because if you can't, and it's hard to do that even at that point. They're very slippery, they're very quick, they've got great ball handling skills, and they have enough shooters out there that you have to be helping off of them and those kinds of things. And to have these guys, especially defensively, because we can do a lot of different things with them that maybe you can't with the traditional 5-man. I mean, having a guy like Austin as our center, that's not bad. That's a lot of things that we can do. They help make me look smart a lot. So,
Coach, can you talk about the number of different ways that Charlie impacts the game? I saw you guys in Grand Island, and I think he set the school scoring mark, and just how he took that game over with so many facets, whether it was sharing the basketball, whether it was on defense with deflections, and just how he impacts the game. Absolutely.
You kind of hit the nail on the head there. He impacts it in so many different ways. His court awareness, his vision, some of the passes that he makes in transition to be able to allow for these guys to be able to get easy shots. I think he had a double-double tonight with 12 rebounds as well. That's not an uncommon thing for him as a 6'2" guard. He plays like he's 6'5" out there. And his defensive skills, his anticipation, and those kinds of things are important, but his leadership skills as well. And he's a guy that, you know, he'll score. He can score as much as he wants in a game usually, but he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. It's more about us winning and getting to a point like this.
All three of you had clutch moments in the final overtime, both overtimes, but was there a moment that the nerves started to kick in? I know you had the big shots and you guys were playing with such confidence, but as you go to another overtime and another overtime, was there a time where any doubt?
Not really. I mean, we've obviously been there before many times, so I think that prepared us for the moment. And I mean, we just looked at each other in the huddle and we just say we're now losing. We're not going to go home with a loss, and we just willed ourselves to a victory.
Yeah, we just kept trusting each other. We just kept telling each other, we can do this, we can do this. We've been here before. We know how to win this, and being able to pull that out was really big.
I remember a key moment in the huddle. I think it was right as we were going into double overtime, and Coach Spicka just had to remind us, you know, think about all those workouts we've done, you know, all those early mornings in the summer, and, you know, since our freshman year, and that's what it all comes down to. And I think as we got further into the game and into the second overtime, we just got even more confident because we know that no one can outwork us.
I have a question for the guys. You were without Joe this year, you know, being injured. What, you know, how does that affect you guys and you know, are you playing for him as well, and how did he fit in with all this?
For sure. I mean, it affects us a lot. He was a great player, big part of our team, and one of our best friends. And we've been working with him since day one. And to lose him was definitely a big blow. But we knew we still had a team to do it. But it's definitely for him too.
It wasn't just Joe. We also had Nick
Yeah,
Staub, who was a
Staub's
guy
out
that was going to be a fringe starter or a big guy off the bench for us. He blew out his knee in the last game of football. So having both of those guys not be there was tough, but it allowed for other guys to grow into those spots. You see a Dominic Pellon tonight. We put him on red and said he can't catch the ball anymore after he made some of those shots, and he did a great job doing that. He had a big three. You have J.P. Miller out there who made plays. Kyle Cluthy's made plays for us throughout the year, allowed for those other guys to step up into roles, and they really did a good job. Now, would that have happened if those guys were there? I don't know, but those guys really did a great job of filling those spots. And we missed Joe, we missed Nick tremendously. And these guys did a great job of leading our team through that. I think it could have been something where we could have been blaming, you know, we have excuses why we're not going to be as good because we're losing a guy that's, I mean, he averaged 25 points in districts and state last year, you know, and the guy that's going to be a key part of our team. But they refused to make any kind of excuses. And Joe's a great player, Nick's a great player, and great kids, and we love to have them part of the program.
Guys, you also you're state champions now. You're also played a mostly Class A schedule. Would you trade that to playing Class A at all, the championship, or is this?
Like, would we want to win the Class A
Yeah.
championship? I mean, from what I understand, it wasn't really up to us. I mean, it's based on enrollment and all that, and so we just took what was given to us, and this was the opportunity put in front of us, and we went out and seized it.
Did the schedule make you guys better?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There were Class A teams that, you know, they get up on you and very physical, and I think that helped prepare us because we had a lot of games down the stretch just like this one, and, you know, that all helped prepare us.
Anything else? Well, congratulations once again.